Good morning, everyone. So kind of segueing from Anthony's talk, he kind of ended that speaking slot on security, and we'll kind of evolve into that. So talking about security, more from a high level, organizationally, how can you think strategically about security and managing budgeting around tools, technology, and talent? So in terms of InfoSec and security, tools can be a big part of your budgeting. So you really need to think wisely about how you're going to invest in tools. From a people standpoint, this is probably one of the more dynamic areas. How do you retain your talent? How do you find your talent? What are some of the strategies you want to incorporate into that? And then from a technology standpoint, what's happening in the industry? What are those trends? And how do you get those efficiencies and those synergies with your tools and then also your people? So in terms of tools, really going back to the basics, you can think of aligning your tool set with things like the CIS standards and what they define as the basics. So this is kind of the foundation of your InfoSec program. You're going to look at things like accurately inventorying all of your hardware and software. How do you protect things that you don't know exist, right? So you need to know what all of those devices are out there, what kind of software is being used in the system so that they can be patched properly. Vulnerability management, the second one there. So this is really about doing regular vulnerability scans and keeping up with what's happening in terms of the risk areas to your equipment and your software. Secure configuration of all of your assets. So this is really creating what you would call golden images. So creating secure configuration, creating golden images out of those, and then maintaining those, updating them as vulnerabilities are discovered and they're patched, and really keeping those in your toolkit so they're ready to deploy when they're needed. Your logs, so both maintaining audit logs, but also analyzing them, having the ability to know if an attack or a breach occurred, having the records to actually go and analyze the logs and determine what happened, what was at risk, maybe what data was infiltrated and whatnot. And then backups. So even within security, backups plays a role. Having the ability to go back to your critical data if you were ransomware, for example, having a data set that you can actually go back to and recover from. And then taking those things and then matching them to your talent and the technology roadmap. So having a roadmap that you've established with the business stakeholders within your organization and aligning the tool set to that, aligning your talent to that business roadmap is very critical. And you don't really want to invest in tools, obviously, that aren't going to align with that and then that are very difficult to support as well. So in terms of your people, there's kind of three elements to how you can manage your people. Obviously, you want to retain your best people, so you want to do things that are going to incentivize them to stay on board. A lot of people involved in InfoSec, they like that continuous learning. They like the ability to always have something new in front of them. So establishing that skill set that's needed within the organization that's aligned with the business objectives and the technology roadmap, and putting a plan in place for folks and incentivizing them to continue their development. And putting a training program together for them or a certification program together for them. And obviously you need to allocate budget for that. Another approach is just embrace turnover. People are going to leave. That's going to happen. So how best do you situate the organization to handle that? Put robust training programs in place, have good policies documented and procedures documented so that when new people come on board, they're able to come up to speed quickly. And then a third leg of that is find partners, right? Find partners who can help you do the day-to-day management. Kind of do the basic work, but also the complicated work for you so you don't have to staff up those elements of your organization. And then look at things like managed services, managed security services to help you do the day-to-day stuff. So in conclusion, find tools that align with your organizational technology roadmap. Find tools that can be supported by your staff in terms of standing them up, maintaining them, and using them, utilizing them. But also invest in your talent. So make sure you have training programs in place that keep them involved and keep them engaged, and then also keep them relevant to the needs of the business. And then finally, develop a technology roadmap. Talk to the business stakeholders, find out where they're going with the technology, and then align those tools and your staff to those needs of the business. That's it. Thank you. If you guys want to talk further, we're actually right over here behind the hub.